Hey everybody! So today we're going to be doing Module 5, Lesson 9 lesson, focusing on finding equivalent fractions using division. So we've done a lot of practice finding equivalent fractions using multiplication and using our number sentences and writing our stories, finding the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, the end of the story. If you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, I would suggest going back and watching my previous videos on Module 5 lessons. So vocabulary words that we're going to need to know to complete tonight's homework on Module 5 Lesson 9 is unit fraction. Okay, this is a vocabulary word that we've talked about before, but just as a reminder, any unit fraction is a fraction with a 1 in the numerator. So it could be 1/4, 1/6, 1/18, 1/16. Any fraction with a 1 on top is the unit fraction. It represents one piece of the whole in whatever fraction you're talking about. So today we're going to talk about using those unit fractions in our problems, and so when that happens, when you see that word in directions, you will know I need to write a fraction with a 1 on top. Let's get started. Let's start by cubing our directions. First, compose the shaded fraction into a larger fractional unit and express the equivalent fractions in a number sentence using division. So we have to look at the beginning of our story, and we have been using multiplication, so we'd start with the fraction with the smaller numbers. But now we're using division, so we need to start with a fraction using bigger numbers. So if I look at the fraction that's shown, I see 4/8. Now, if I take away these solid horizontal lines, I would see 1/2. And I'm going to fill in the blank just like I would with multiplication, but now I'm dividing. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and whatever you do on the top, you do on the bottom. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So my equivalent fraction from 4/8 is 1/2. First, let's do our cubes. In the first area model, show 2/6. In the second area model, show 3/9. Show how both fractions can be renamed as the same unit fraction. So we're looking for a way to change both of these fractions, 2/6 and 3/9, into an equivalent fraction that has the same denominator. So let's make these fractions. 2/6. So first I'm going to draw my vertical lines to represent 6. So right now I just have thirds, so I'm going to add my horizontal line to make 6 total boxes, and I will shade in 2 to show 2/6. Now I did 2 horizontal lines for this first box, so when I go over to make 3/9, I'm going to start the same way with the same 2 vertical lines. So the only thing I'm going to change, instead of making 1 horizontal line for 6, I'm going to have to make more horizontal lines for 9ths. So I'll start with 1, and I know that's 6 boxes, and then I'll add another one. And now if I count, I have my 9 boxes, and I need to shade in 3. So when I look at these area models, I will know I've done it right if the same section is highlighted in both area models. Okay, now I need to find that unit fraction. So, unit fractions, we've learned, are fractions with a 1 on top. So when I look at this first area model, I'm going to pretend that horizontal line is gone. And now I could do that here to show us. If we take it away, we are left with 1/3. Okay. And I'll put it back so we can see our 2/6. Let's try that with our 3/9. Pretend that these lines are gone, and what's left is 1/3. And I will put those lines back so we can see our 3/9 again. So both of these fractions, if you take away the horizontal line, end up being the unit fraction of 1/3. So we were able to find the same unit fraction. Off to the side, we can tell our reader or whoever's looking at this problem that 2/6 equals 1/3 and that 3/9 equals 1/3.